Hi, my name is Ashley and welcome back to another video. So today's topic is about one of my favorite topics, and it's budgeting. I'm very passionate about financial literacy and having your finances in checks because so many people want to be but in 2020, where the was residing was at DoorDash, was shopping online. But now in 2021, you say, oh, I want to switch it up. Bank account, I see all the tweets. Checking account, $5,000. Savings account, $11 million. The only way you're going to get there is keeping a tight rein, a grasp on your budget. Because your savings account isn't going to become $10,000, $15,000 overnight. And you're still working the same job and getting paid the same. So in this video, I'm going to go through all of the line items that need to be in your budget or things you should consider in your budget, and also go through a sample case with someone who's making about $65,000 a year. Budgets are very personal things. It's very hard to use a model for your budget because you only know the expenses that you have. So I'm just going to go through an example of some of the types of things you might see in your budget. So the first part of your budget you need to think about are your expenses, the needs, the things that have to get paid, whether that's insurances, your rent, food for groceries, like the bare minimums you would need to survive, water, all of that. You need to estimate all of those bills first. And then you're gonna move down to your wants. What are things that you like to do that will cost you money? DoorDash goes in your wants. You don't need to order DoorDash. You need to make you a peanut butter jelly sandwich. You don't need Fashion Nova. You don't need that new Telfar. Okay, that's a want. So if you want that, you need to put in your budget. So one thing I like to do with my wants in my budget, if there's something like a bigger ticket item, I make sure that the price that item is in that budget line until it runs out. So say I have like $100 budget for shopping. If I get that new Telfar and it's like $250 for the one I want, I'm not spending money that month on shopping, the next month on shopping, and half of that next month. Because I knew what I was doing, okay? If I want to get some braids, like the beautiful braids I had before, I had those braids. I got those braids in November, early November. $200 braids. November, my hair was done. December, and then I really was gonna keep them in longer, but they were holding on for dear life. But if I have $100 budget for braids, $200 braids, I'm not getting my hair done for 2 months. That's how I have to think about it. Your savings can be for splurge buys or nice things, but you need to think about your savings about something farther in the future than an expense that you want just at the moment. And now we're down to savings. So I think it's important before you do anything else with your extra money is to save it to have 6 to 8 months of your expenses, just in case anything crazy happens, you lose your job, you have to quit, something happens. For 6 to 8 months, you can survive the way that you're normally used to living. So anything in that needs category, 6 times is what you need to have in your savings, at the very least. Now, once you have that much in your savings, then you can start divvying up for what you want to use your money for. If you need to put money away for retirement, have an investing account to where you want to grow your wealth in, or if you want to have money on the side, if you see a good investment coming by, you can put a budgeted amount of money towards that to have on the side just in case. If you're looking to buy a house, you can put money away for down payment and cash. It's really going to be up to what your savings goals are going to look like. As for me personally, I am saving up to buy a house in, I said a year, but I'm really enjoying this rent life. My toilet seat just like broke, call somebody up, fix the toilet seat. I'm enjoying it. But I'm still going to save for that down payment just in case something comes up a year from now when I'm ready to buy, or before then or after then when I think I'll be ready to buy a home. But only a portion of my savings are going to that, and the others are going to either long-term investment accounts. And then I put money into like my personal portfolio for when if I want cash on the side, or if I see something I can invest in that'll start making me a little bit of money, I'll go ahead and do that. So a popular model to use is the 50-30-20 rule, which means 50% of your monthly income goes to your needs and your necessary expenses, 30% goes to wants, and then 20% goes to savings. I think if you're younger, you need to be pushing those limits. You can do like a 40, 20, 40, a 40, 20, 40. 40% living expenses, 20% wants, and then 40% savings. Because what do you really need to spend money on? You have your whole life to get that nice car, to get that nice apartment. You need to be living in a way that's going to set yourself up for the future. But you need to be enjoying the life that you're living now. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and they stretch themselves to the bones. I was watching this one YouTube video where they were pulling out a mattress and sleeping on the floor of their friend's apartment. And I was like, baby, you have a job. You don't have to do that. You need to know that your budget needs to be within your means, and you need to know what you're spending money on that's going to enhance your life ultimately. When you're in your 20s, no one is going to fault you for having roommates. No one's going to fault you for still living at home, because once you see the sample case, and if you live at home right now, you have to think about all of these expenses that you're not used to paying for and then have to start paying for them. And that might make you think, okay, my mom hounding me about coming home at 3 a.m. It's not that bad if I don't have to pay my phone bill or pay rent. I'm gonna have another video talking about what you need to know before you start renting or before you move into a new apartment, because people say your rent should be 30% of your monthly expenses, but your total monthly expenses need to be 50%. So which comes first? I think once you write out all of your monthly bills that you're going to have to pay, calculate 50% of your monthly income and subtract those bills, and that's how much you can pay for rent. A lot of the times it's not 30%. A lot of the times it's much less than that. Something that helps me so much, because it makes me a crazy person about my budget, is I use the Mint app. You can connect all of your debit and credit cards, and it tracks all of your transactions. So you know how much you're spending, and it puts it in categories, and you can put in your own categories. And then ultimately I take that information every month and then put it into an Excel sheet so where I can look at my spending month to month and tweak my budget where I need to. But let's get started with our sample case. So Sally makes $65,000 and she takes 5% out for her 401k. So after she takes out that 5%, she's left with $61,750. Now, Uncle Sam is coming up and taking out 22% of her earnings because that's the tax bracket that she's in. And then FICA, which includes Social Security, is taking about 7.5%. So total about 30% is going to taxes. Now, let's say Sally lives in North Carolina, just like me, and the tax rate, the income tax rate is 5.25%. So that's also taken out of her income after her 401k. And then that makes her take home for the year about $40,600. If you break that down, that comes up to about $3,383 per month, with about $1,700 per paycheck if she's getting paid bi-weekly. And Sally got some bills, okay? She's a grown woman. She's living on her own. She has a $40 cable bill, $100 phone bill. She has about a $15,000 to $20,000 car, paying $350 a month for her car note, about $130 for car insurance, about $200 a month on groceries, which may sound crazy, but if you go to the grocery store every week, spend $50 a week on groceries, that's $200. It is what it is. About $120 on utilities and water, about $80 in gas and transportation. My girl Sally got a few thousand in student loans, so she's paying $200 a month for those. So 50% of Sally's take home is $1,691. If you subtract all of these bills she has, she may be able to cut some money on her car insurance by switching another car insurance, might get a better phone plan, save her $20. But these are bills that she's going to have to pay one way or another. And after those are taken into account, her rent that she should be looking at is $471.69. That sounds kind of crazy, right? But realistically, that's what you should be looking at. If you're a young adult or just coming out of college and a lot of these things haven't been completely cut off from you yet, then that's when you can start subtracting those line items to put into maybe living in a better place. But if Sally wanted to stretch this, she would need to be taking out some money out of her wants in order to live in a nicer place. Now, with $500 a month, you can probably get somewhere with a roommate, but that would be up to her living standards. But if it's more than that, it would be, in my opinion, living above her means if she has all of these bills she has to pay. I didn't even put in health insurance in here because if we're saying Sally's 22, we're still on daddy's health insurance. So you could take out another $150 out of that if she still was paying for her own health insurance. Now, wants. For Sally, I looked at doing a little more of an aggressive savings plan than the 50-30-20. I did 50-25-25. So 25% of her take home would be $845.85. These are some light items I use. Eating out, if you want to go to a nice restaurant with your friends, going out, beauty, you know, I get my nails done, shopping, giving. So whether that's giving your tithes or whether that's giving to charity, I think it's really important. Just being able to be grateful where you came from. Subscriptions. Now, if you're paying Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, you might need to find a friend to go half on with because nobody needs to be paying all those by themselves. Miscellaneous expenses, I have $150. You never know what happens. Your car popped something out, making weird noises, breaks down. You just have some things you can't account for. And then Sally's savings. So another $845 is going to her savings. Sally already has her 6 to 8 months planned out. So I'm gonna interrupt myself real quick, but before she does any of this fun stuff down here, if she has any high interest loans, I already talked about she had student debt, she needs to be paying those off. Like, she can also invest or save cash, but she needs to be working actively to pay off any high interest debt. It's only gonna set her back in the long run. Or if she has credit card debt, she needs to be working on that before she gets into this. Okay, I'm gonna go back. So with her remaining $845 a month, I just have her splitting that into thirds between saving for a down payment, which she may eventually get a house, but really wants to have the money on the side just in case, maybe in a couple of years to buy a house, or just to have cash on the side, and then put a third into an automatic account that dollar cost averages, put it into something like the S&P 500, very safe investing account. And then the other third is to put into her personal portfolio to where she wants to choose individual stocks that she researches or ETFs or sectors that she thinks is going to make her money in the long term or in the short term if that's something that she thinks about. If she wants to be more aggressive with her investing, then she has that money to do that. I really wanted to give an example because I see a lot of people who either show their budget and they have spouses, they have kids, a lot of their bills are split. This is somebody who's living completely on their own with their own money cut off, and those are the expenses she has to think about. I just wanted to make a budget that fits the person, the single person trying to figure out their finances on their own. So this is just an example. I am not a financial advisor. I am just a 23-year-old girl. Let me know in the comments what you're doing in terms of trying to reach your 2021 goals, how your budget is changing in order to do that, and how you plan to keep it up. But yeah, thanks for watching.